Okay, we have a quorum. It's 6:30. What do I need to do again? I need to do a roll call. I'm here. Jen? Mike?
Here.
Chris is not here. And Stephanie?
Here.
Chris is walking in? Chris is walking in. But with that, we have a quorum, and we are going to adjourn into closed session. Need a motion to reconvene into open session.
So moved.
It's been moved.
I'll second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion passes 5-0. Time for Pledge of Allegiance. Flags over there. Ready? Begin. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Need a motion on the agenda, please? Motion on the agenda, please?
Oh, so moved.
It's been moved.
I'll second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor of the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Announcement of actions taken in closed session. The board gave direction to staff on negotiations with CSEA, STA, and unrepresented folks as well. Individuals desiring to address the board, I have some slips tonight. And I'm going to start with Amanda Agee.
Hello. I'll be super brief. I just wanted to express my gratitude, our family's gratitude for all of the teachers and the staff at Spreckels. Also at BV, I'll have a sixth grader there next year, but specifically just here at Spreckels for everything that you guys have endured this year and overcome throughout the year. I am not only a mom of a fifth and a first grader, but I am a public school administrator and teacher. So I've seen all sides. Sorry about the fogging up. I think I'd be used to this by now. Experience on all sides of the situation. And I just wanted to come and say thank you to Teresa and to all the teachers and everyone who's played a part, the board, everyone who's played a part in getting us to where we are today and looking forward to a much more normal year next year. So thank you to all of you.
Okay. Next is Jenny Felice.
I second Amanda's gratitude for all the teachers and the board, and was just curious if full-time next year was going to be considered 5 days a week with 1 half day, like prior to COVID, or whether full-time has a new definition and it's different than that.
Thank you. Next, we have Adriana Ramsey.
I'll just stand right here. Hi, my name is Adriana Ramsey. I have 3 kids in the district. And again, I want to say thank you to all of you guys for all your hard work during this crazy year. This question is specifically for my kids. I have one that suffers migraine. We see a specialist for it. I have another one who is starting to get panic attacks and have anxiety. And then I have just a plain old kindergarten. So this is just for them. My question is, if the mask mandates get lifted in accordance to the CDC and our governor, are you going to abide by those recommendations? More specifically, who has the decision-making power in terms of my child being forced to wear a mask for 6 hours a day?
Okay, thank you. Michael Light.
Good evening. I would like to show my appreciation for our teachers as well, as they are the most amazing people on this planet to me, outside of my children, my wife. I see this here, and I love that. I think this nice lady is behind part of this here, and it's nice to see individualism within districts, because there's a lot of districts that can't read that book. And I'd also like to thank this gentleman, Chris here, Hasegawa, for your words on the Asian hate resolution a couple weeks back. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the board. My name's Michael Light. I'd first like to touch on this mask situation and Dr. Anthony Fauci's recent development in regards to his private emails being released to the public has confirmed exactly what I stated last week in this meeting. Masks are ineffective and propose a health risk to humans when worn for extended periods. I put this district on notice. If you require masks for the coming year, as parents, we will legally force you to show cause. If you fight us on this, we'll be sure to push the courts for punitive damages. We have rights in regards to medical freedom and privacy. Next, I have a few questions in regard to the resolution passed last week about Mental Health Awareness Month. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the entirety of this resolution was to state that the governing board, Spreckels Union School District, proudly proclaims the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month in recognition of any student or Spreckels Union School District staff member challenged by mental illness. Spreckels Union School District stands ready to support you. I believe that is exactly what the statement was. For simplicity here, we'll assume it. Besides some of the grammatical errors, this is a statement that us as parents can appreciate and support 100%. Now, there were 14 whereas statements that lead up to the conclusive statement that were, to say the least, completely redundant, meaningless, and another example of this school board contaminated with activists. However, it was very telling about the author of this resolution and has no place being attached to this resolution. For example, whereas children and families are dealing with the long overdue societal reckoning with police violence against African Americans, a spike in anti-Asian hate crimes, and significantly higher than average death rate linked to COVID-19 among Latino communities. I would like to receive a copy of the footnotes used to draft this statement and the statistical data to support these claims here locally within this district.
Mr. Light, you can summarize and finish up?
Yeah, I'm going to finish up just one way, just like you guys are one way with me. I'll finish it up real quick.
Thank you.
This is yet again another horrific example of systemic racism being created by this district and perpetrated by members of this board. Do you know how many humans are shot and killed by law enforcement in America? I do. Do you know how many black people are shot dead by police? I do. Over 46% of humans shot and killed by law enforcement in this country are white. More than double the amount of black people shot by the police and more than all ethnic categories combined. This yet again exemplifies the absolute lack of knowledge and facts, but more profoundly, the racist perspective exuding from the board by first assuming white people are more capable to reflect and manage discriminatory situations and mental health challenges without help than African Americans. We all have suffered mental anguish from the unfounded lockdowns. My question to this board is, why do you think that because you're white, you can handle your mental health better than a black person? Please explain to me as a parent at this district and you in the leadership of this board how and why your foundational beliefs are rooted in such a racist belief that implies that white people are more capable than people of color.
Mr. Light, you need to finish up, please. We're way beyond the 3 minutes.
Okay. See that? There's lots of time to talk. We spend hours in here. But I'll finish. I'm disappointed by us parents for our disengaged position over the last decade, letting this underlying communist board run wild with conjecture and radical racist ideology. I'm here to stand for the entire adolescent community. And I will never let this board easy again by criticizing your shame. This board will no longer be allowed to individualize the rapper by minimizing the content of our children based on anything other than their individual needs. Thank you.
I'm trying to read the handwriting, but I think it says Brian Ackerman. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. No worries. You should see mine.
Good evening. Thank you very much. My name is Brian Ackerman. I'm the Marine Operations Manager for Moss Landing Marine Laboratories and a spouse of one of your fine teaching staff. Our daughter, Madeline, attended Spreckels Elementary School and Buena Vista Middle School, and I'm happy to say that she is now living her dream down in Los Angeles, attending college. Needless to say, we are all emerging from a global crisis of which humanity has not experienced in over a century. All of our lives have been turned upside down, as we struggled to survive this pandemic. The coronavirus has completely disrupted all of our lives and has been especially difficult for children, their parents, and those charged with educating them. I know. Our daughter's senior year of high school, meant to be the capstone of her young academic career, was suddenly shrunk to the confines of her room and seemingly endless Zoom meetings. No prom, no seniors night, no gathering for graduation. Her lead role of the school musical was canceled. We all suffered from COVID, whether infected or not. And yet, we persevered. We see our way out of this long, dark tunnel. Vaccines that are highly effective at keeping people out of the hospital are now widely available. We made it. Life can now begin to return to normal. But before we slide back into our old routines, it is important to recognize the heroes who helped us usher us to this day. Nurses, doctors, EMTs, and other frontline workers have been publicly and rightfully applauded for their dedication and sacrifice. In this meeting, I would like to applaud the educators who, with nearly no time to prepare, reinvented the classroom and worked tirelessly to provide the best education possible to our children. Our teachers in this district, using web tools they were not familiar with, and in some cases not even fully developed, created online educational experiences to help keep kids on track. They literally were flying the airplane as it was being built. Was that experience perfect? Of course not. From funky internet access to having a house full of kids trying to log in simultaneously, to some households not having web connections at all, providing a public education to everyone with limited resources and no time to prepare is a Herculean task. Yet our teachers threw themselves to that task and brought their educational plane down to a safe, if rocky, landing. It's truly remarkable. There's a perception among some that teaching is easy. They look at the calendar and see summer, winter, and spring breaks. They look at the clock and they see a day that ends at 3 p.m. What they don't see is that a teacher's day does not end with the last bell. I know from personal experience that grading and lesson planning continue long into the night and through weekends and holidays. If we take a vacation, I'll be there and done in 30 seconds. If we take a vacation, the laptop and bags of essays to grade are packed with socks and sunscreen. Working from home this past 15 months has been no vacation either. The commute to school has been replaced with struggles to maintain an internet connection. Devising lessons that work online is a whole different skill set from presenting them in a classroom. Trying to maintain discipline and focus when all your students are together in a physical room is one thing. It's quite another to keep every student engaged when all you can see are the icons on a screen.
Please summarize, Mr. Ackerman.
Last paragraph. Teaching is not easy on the best of days. The educators in the Spreckels Unified School District are highly educated and highly motivated to provide our young people with the best learning experience possible. They work under challenging circumstances with a compensation scale that is not commensurate with the skill and difficulty that is inherent with their job. I sure as heck wouldn't do it. Thank God there are those who do. Thank you, teachers. You are the superheroes. Thank you.
Denise Powers.
Okay, so, it's gonna be short. So anyhow, I had to say, and this is really to Eric, thank you. 16 years ago, on a dare, I'm from New York. You always put Powers, anyhow. I'm from New York, and I got dared to come to California because my daughter wanted to go to Berkeley, and we all want to be close to our kids. So anyhow, so I came out to California, and I had this interview, and I thought I was brave, like people, because I was a little 50 plus when that happened. But anyhow, I only later came to realize how brave Eric was. Because you're not a risk taker, and you're not comfortable with change, yet you hired me. You hired me, the road teacher from New York. And so I will also say with this is that when I came to Buena Vista, I'm different. They know that. Miss Hitchcock used to run down to his office and say, the classroom's out of control. Hearing impaired said, we can't go in there. My class borderline on chaos theory. Because my thought is, and how you learn math and how you learn is by being active and engaged. You don't learn it by being quiet. You have to have them engaged, doing activities and stuff. And yeah, it's a fine line, whatever. So anyhow, but I really appreciate it because I know people were going after him and saying like, oh my gosh, anyhow. So I think you guys got used to me. The original plan was it was going to be 5 years. So now I'm finishing on my 16th year. I might keep going, but it's time. I'm old. Anyhow. But lots of things have changed from 2005. So now here this goes to. So in 2005, my wireless connection was Carrie, who lived above me, who, thank God, she didn't have a password on her internet provider. And so I could get on there. But so also saying that with the internet, I just want to say there comes lots of plus and minuses. And I also have to say I thank our tech committee because our tech people because there's a lot of plus and minus. We now have great internet. Not only did our tech department have to, I mean, teachers are stubborn. I mean, not only did they have to get us old teachers like stubborn used to things and our idiotic questions of which I think I called, well, not today, I did call them today. But they just, whatever, they're kind, they appreciate me. So I just want to really say thank you to Travis, Ryan, and also Hattie, the better half, because thank God if you're not around, I call her, thank you. But anyhow, you have been very kind and tolerant of me, and I really appreciate that. And so also with that, you need to recognize that this pandemic, which nobody planned and happened, we have to appreciate that the internet did help us maintain some form of learning. It did. We all did the best that we could. So as I'm leaving, so I'm going to end up right here. As I'm leaving, this is my wish for Buena Vista, and I think I'm going to finally say it. I've said this tons of times, but I'm saying it to you and to the parents. Please de-emphasize grades. Grades tend to stop learning. If you fail, you think you're stupid. If you get an A, you think you don't have to learn a lot. We have wonderful whole children. So please talk to your kids. Don't ask about a grade. And I would love if Buena Vista could look at the whole child and maybe get a guidance counselor in here and some other things. But let's start talking about ideas with our kids. And that's it. And thank you, Eric. Love you. Oh, and I haven't been to California without coming to BV. Kate, don't call.
Hi, I teach first grade here at Spreckels School. And first, I just want to say thank you so much to the board. They have had such a difficult task. You guys never dreamed you'd be put in this position. None of us have dreamed we'd be put in this position. No one wanted this position. We're all doing the best we can do. We should have grace and kindness and love for each other. That's it. Thank you for serving during these difficult, intense days. You've had to make decisions for the best of the students, the staff, the community, that were incredibly difficult and couldn't please everybody all the time. You have spent hours of extra time researching, planning, amending, meeting, questioning, researching, amending, planning, meeting again and again. Your families have sacrificed their time. You've sacrificed your time. We're very grateful. Thank you for taking your time to make the decisions that took science seriously and were not hasty and not political. Thank you for having integrity. I'm writing to express my sincere appreciation, for Travis Baraki and Ryan Kellogg. It was only with their help, patience, expertise, and positivity that I have been able to successfully face the challenges of distance teaching. I would like to read, technology has always intimidated me. At one point, for example, I was the very last staff member to have a flip phone. And I still take shopping lists to the market, and I have a calendar that's paper. So when communication and education went online, I was plunged into a situation completely out of my comfort zone. What motivated me was the love of my students, the love I had for them, and doing best for them. What made it possible was the help from my colleagues, wonderful colleagues, and the constant support of Travis and Ryan, who were right there to help all of us every single step of the way. From the simple but the frustrating discovery that, for example, by simply accidentally touching one key on my keyboard, I muted myself without having any knowledge about how to unmute myself. It was horrific. To the huge undertaking of making virtual instruction work, then making in-person and online work at the same time. That is no easy feat. And oh my goodness, the learning curve has been so steep for all of us, for students, for families, for parents who never wanted to be in this position, for teachers who never wanted to be in this position and never want to be in this position ever again. But once again, without the consistent help of Travis and Ryan and their patience, it would not have been possible. I cannot tell you how many times I found my heart racing when I had a technical mishap while trying to keep my students, 24 students, engaged online, and was able to reach out and get help almost immediately. Just yesterday, I'll wrap it up. Travis was able to help with the speaker, blah, blah, blah. My class cheered when he came in. He's like a superhero. I recall one afternoon, I have my last paragraph. When I was entering required monotonous information on the computer, I was having such a difficult time, and I needed to ask Travis to help me after school for technical support. I was such a slow learner, and it took me a super long time to understand how to enter the data correctly. He did not leave until I understood it and was able to be successful. And honestly, the patience he has for someone as untechnical as me is impressive and a gift. I have been able to share with my students about how I can be able to keep learning and make mistakes. And I persevere and embrace learning something new every day. Thanks for being so great to the teachers. Thank you, Travis and Ryan.
I was looking at the 2006 yearbook today. And let's just say we both aged, but you do.
Are we recognizing Ms. Powers first?
We're going to recognize, I'm sorry, everybody, we're recognizing 3 retirees and then our technology department. And so in 2006 when she came, you were a risk, but one of the best risks we've took. Yeah. The interview was more like a hazing session. It was me and my boss at the time on a weekend because she's here from New York, and we violated every rule of hiring ever, Monica. But she went around to keep us in line, so it was. Nobody could. But you honestly were one of the best risks we've taken. The truth is, I loved going to your classroom. The volume, I thought that's interaction, right? You were interacting with kids way before interaction and engagement became buzzwords. But you've given so much to this district, so on behalf of the kids in the district, thank you so much. Mrs. Powers, if you don't know, has led athletics, our BVM athletics teams to county-wide championships. Yes. She was doing Khan Academy and online learning before most of us, knew how to use our friends' internet connection that we couldn't get. And she was recognized recently from a valedictorian of Salinas that was a former student from being one of the most inspirational teachers he's ever had. So you've been amazing. I'm now ready to play you in tennis, so we don't have to say goodbye. Yeah. Yeah, so again, thank you on behalf of us all. And forgot her legacy is that she brought a recycling / what kind of program is it? Composting. All that to Buena Vista, and you're leaving it at a better place. So thank you very much. Let's break some protocols.
parents, students, employees and Board of Trustees of the Spreckels Union School District community commend and honor Denise Powers for 16 years of distinguished service as an educator. This plaque is presented in appreciation of Mrs. Powers' hard work, skill, and dedication to her profession. With this acknowledgement, the Spreckels Union School District honors the years of service, outstanding service rendered, presented by Grateful School District, June 2021.
The other two retirees aren't here, but I want to recognize them as well. Mrs. Priest was another, standout at Buena Vista for years. I wish she was here because she used to get this excitement about, I don't like reptiles at all. And she does, and so whenever she'd find a snake, whatever, oh, tell Mr. Trollo there's an emergency in room whatever, I'd come down and, well, anyways, Miss Priest, if you're out there, thank you so much. You also made Buena Vista just a better place. She was recognized as well by former students that were valedictorians. And Jane Hitchcock is an instructional aide. If any human being was made to be an instructional aide, it was Jane. You have to have extreme patience to work with kids with learning disabilities. And she had it. And she every day for how many years would show up, and no matter what group of kids you put her with, she would give it 100%. So Jane, well-deserved retirement out there. So the retirees. And now to transition to current employees that we couldn't have done it without them. That's just a fact. Now, this is not a setup, but that was here when I walked in and I said, perfect. Travis and Ryan, honestly, well, thank you, yes. So when you have a technology department of 2 and you have to go from Friday in person to Monday 100% online, you're in trouble. Unless you have Ryan and Travis. And Heidi hit it perfectly. I mean, their patience for every skill. I mean, computer skills, it's extraordinary. And Travis, he has the best poker face because we share a hall, right? So I know more than anybody how patient he is because, hey, Travis, I need help. And one day he goes, okay, first you have to refresh it. And I looked at him like, okay, what does that mean, refresh? Well, I can now refresh. I could use Excel. I could do a few other things. But more importantly, the kids and the teachers, we couldn't have, there's no way we survived or thrived the last year without you guys. And I know that everybody feels that way. Heidi says it right. We should get him a Superman, Travis with the Super T and Super R. Oh, Ryan, there you are, Teddy. I'm glad you're here too. And Ryan's equally patient, and I've seen him be frustrated but not show it with many a staff member. And you guys, you deserve such a long vacation. Problem is we have to collect about 1,000 Chromebooks and inventory them. So hopefully you'll find some time to take care of yourselves because we owe you. And thank you. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah. If you've viewed any kind of Spreckels made video in the last 2 years, Spielberg, that's our guy right there. Oh, please, thank you.
So, speaking from the elementary school level, the teachers and kids did your posters. I made sure it was up so you guys can see them. That was from them. And I have a class set of thank you notes and a couple things for you, so I just want to make sure you get those. And I just want to echo what Eric said. This was the most impossible year for so many reasons. And whether people are high techies or challenge techies, it was hard, no matter what level we were at. And I am so grateful for both of your patience because, man, it's just, I'm not embarrassed to ask for help. And I know you've probably not been heard that, what the heck, doesn't she know that yet? And I know it's the same with the kids and the teachers. Nobody's afraid to ask for you, and they're asking for you constantly. We just finished, for everybody else to know, we just finished our state testing this week, and BB's doing theirs day
Bargaining unit presentations, STA.
Good evening. I'd like to ask the following members to please stand. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Laura Villarengo. I am the incoming president for the Spreckels Teachers Association. And with that, I'd also like to introduce and announce the rest of our incoming leadership team. Spreckels Vice President Heidi DeBellis. Buena Vista Vice President Kelly Baraki. Treasurer Chrissy Witcher. I don't think she's here. Secretary Lori Caldera. Our Spreckels site reps, who I don't think they're here, Kelly Ann Dickinson and Heather Martin. Our Buena Vista site rep, Melissa Ackerman. And our lead negotiator, Christina Jones. To begin, we want to congratulate our retirees and thank them for their professionalism, expertise, service, and friendship to our community. We also want to send fond farewells to our team members who are moving on from our district for a variety of reasons. Please know that we wish you all the best and greatest successes in your future endeavors, and we will miss you all. We're almost there. Almost done with what has been the most challenging and exceptional year of teaching in our careers. To say this has been exhausting would be an understatement, and I can say with 100% confidence that the teachers are really looking forward to summer break and a fresh start in the fall. STA is committed to partnering with the district for a full return to in-person instruction under whatever scientifically sound safety guidelines are required by state law and/or local ordinance. STA is pleased with the priorities as outlined in the LCAP. Your teachers remain committed to providing the best education possible and services that are equitable and inclusive. We appreciate the commitment to ongoing professional development and providing for academic excellence. In addition, we are pleased that the board has recognized the need to protect our institutional knowledge and history by retaining our highly qualified and dedicated veteran teachers. As a Spreckels teaching family, we also look forward to welcoming new members as the situation requires. We would like to share with our Spreckels families that there are wide discrepancies between teacher pay within our Tri-County area. Our district pay scale is among the lowest. Kind words of support are always appreciated. However, true meaningful support for teachers includes competitive compensation for and trust in our professional expertise and experience. Teachers are better equipped to care for their students in classrooms when they do not have to worry about making ends meet financially. We have been reminded recently about the sacrifices and choices families must make in order to bring their students to our school community. We wanted to publicly acknowledge how grateful we are to those who choose to join us and share that we also make choices to work here and serve this community happily. We are education professionals who weigh the pros and cons like every other family. We look forward to collaborating with the district on the ways to help our professional educators reach their full potential so as to guide students in reaching theirs. and we appreciate the support of our Spreckels community to that end. Thank you so much.
Anybody from CSEA? No? Okay, board member comments. Michael? Chris?
Friend who rescued 2 timpani out of the trash can. He doesn't even play the drums. He rescued these 2 timpani and 3 conga drums with a stand, and he worked on them for years, refurbishing them and polishing them and beating out all the little dents with his little hammer. And today he told me that he wanted to donate them to Buena Vista. And so he's going to deliver them next Thursday. His name is Buzz. And I'd like all of you to, when you see these copper-bottom timpani, think of this guy sitting there night after night, tink, 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 getting every one of those little dents out perfectly. They're going to be a beautiful gift to the school. And I just wanted to say that over this past year, I've had unexpected meetings with parents at the post office, mostly at the post office, and when I'm mowing my lawn and things like that. And for the previous years I've been on the board, I hardly talk to anybody except for my next door neighbor about the schools. And this year I've had a lot of contact with neighbors, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate hearing from folks and understanding what they're thinking. And sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't agree, but that interaction through this year has been wonderful for the most part, and in some cases quite buoyant. So thank you for being concerned about the district. Let's not make a catastrophe the reason to have to talk to the board members. Come by, stay at the post office, and eventually you'll run into us. The drums are an unexpected joy because I don't know if you all know Mrs. Thompson, who's the band teacher. She's a premier percussionist. So when she gets these drums, she's going to be so happy. And it was an unexpected joy to share that with the district. Thanks, Steve.
Sure. Stephanie?
Yeah, so I just want to send a congratulations on the end of this school year. Of course, it's been mentioned several times tonight. It's been a challenging year like no other that any of us have ever experienced, but we made it. And I say we because I too have 2 children at Spreckels Elementary, so I play a number of roles as a stakeholder in our community. And I just want to send a thank you to everyone in our community, but I really want to acknowledge the students. We've heard a lot about resiliency and perseverance this year, and I think our young people have really been the models for many of us in regards to those 2 characteristics. And then a special recognition to the 5th graders and the 8th graders who are being promoted to new schools and new journeys. This is an important and exciting milestone, and I celebrate you and your accomplishments. Thank you.
Thank you. Jen?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for coming again tonight. I know we were just here last week. And I too look forward to the end of the school year. We have a week left and then graduation next week. Very exciting. I have an 8th grader that's going to be graduating. So it's all these new things. We're really looking forward to summer, next school year full-time, next school year more traditional, like what we're used to seeing. I appreciate all the questions that came tonight, and I hope that we will be able to answer those as fully as soon as possible. I want to recognize our teachers. There was some things said last time that I didn't quite agree with on teachers being replaceable, and they don't like it, they can leave. And that hasn't sat well with me. I don't know how many of you know this, but at the beginning of the school year, our 6th graders were down a teacher. And our other teachers kicked in and filled in the position. And that's pretty amazing in the middle of a pandemic too, right? So there's a lot of behind the scenes things that happen that a lot of us don't know about. And Mrs. DeBellis, the Be Kind. Like my girls had Mrs. DeBellis in 1st grade. My girls love every single teacher they have. You guys have carried my girls through this year. You've carried many of our students through this year. I haven't gotten to know you. And usually I get to. And they love you. And I thank you for that. You spend more time with them than I do. And I just really appreciate all of your help and support, and the parents as well, because you've been home with your kids, I know, and we've had to see many sides to our children. It's state testing, right? It's been very stressful, and I want to thank, well, Ms. Powers left. She was so cool, calm, collect today. I was like, I cannot do that, especially over the computer. Thank you, Travis. And my daughter didn't freak out, which it would, I hope she doesn't mind me saying that. But it all got worked out. And they did teamwork, and it was something that they've learned through this year more so, is pulling together and being a team. So I just want to thank our community for being such a good, strong team for our kids.
Thank you. I want to add comments to the end of a year, and that's understated. Hoping to start again with a new deck of cards and back to normal. Normal. I also want to say that the freedom of speech and the right to petition governments, including this one, is sacrosanct. And I defend that no matter what is said. I did that when I was in uniform, and I continue to do that to this day. And although I don't get times at the podium, we have a podium now, to address this board, but I have been at the microphone in other places and other times, and oftentimes not necessarily appreciated. I get it. Freedom of speech is sacrosanct, no matter what's said. And I protect that and defend that. Lastly, graduation, and well, in just a little less than a week now. Looking forward to it in person. Okay, and it'll be good to see the kids move off to high school. Be good. Hopefully to normal school. All right, with that, oral and written communications, I have 3. Email letters. I have one that came in from Brianna Woodward about retention and compensation for teachers. I also received one from Tammy Mungray about including the concept of a wellness center in the LCAP for budgeting. And I also received an email from Shuichi Bundan, who disagreed with the board's decision in the May meeting regarding the board's majority decision in the May meeting regarding the anti-Asian sentiment resolution. And that's all I have for correspondence. Board reports from staff. Superintendent, the floor is yours, sir.
I've talked quite a bit already, but I do want to echo a lot of what's been said. It's been a year that I thought it would never end, but we made it. As a district, I think we're fractured in many ways, but I think we're stronger in many ways too, and I'm personally going to focus on the stronger and the healing. Also want to thank our entire community for the sacrifices they've made. Our families have been asked to do things that were unthinkable. Staff, same thing. But like Stephanie said, the kids, you're the ones that really were the heroes here. You went through something that's generational, not even. I mean, and you came out stronger, and it's wonderful to see you guys getting back to normal. And thank you for letting us feel a little normal too. Good luck if you're going to high school next year. Other than that, let's just celebrate we made it through and have a wonderful, well-deserved year. I think we've earned it. Summer, sorry. Wonderful summer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for qualifying that.
Yes.
Buena Vista, Kate?
I am so glad that this year is almost over. I think back into March, I had a baby 2 weeks before the pandemic closed us all down. So this has been quite a year for myself as well, transitioning into this role as a parent. And my daughter started daycare 2 days ago. So our original one closed down. So new phase here. But just taking all that into, how long this year has been and how many phases we have gone through this year, It has been a whirlwind, and we couldn't have done it without a trusting board and a board that worked with us. We couldn't have done it without the administrative team working together, our teachers really, like Jen had mentioned, we had teachers doing science roles at the beginning of the year because we had an early retirement. We had our tech department doing so much to get us all up to date and working with everybody so patiently and getting us trained in all the different facets that we were going through. But our students were so resilient. And today I would like to focus on those students, and I'm going to have Ms. Jones come up. They're going to be presenting a gift to the board, but I'm going to stop talking because it's now their turn, if that's all right.
Good evening. Can you hear? I want to take this thing off, but I know I can't. Not yet, right? Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Turallo, principals, staff, and Spreckels families. My students are here tonight to present a gift on behalf of themselves, obviously, and their class and schoolmates. They are hoping that you will display it at the district office. We want to thank you for your leadership during this difficult time. Thank you for bringing us back in person. Thank you for allowing BV teachers to conduct in-person and online classes separately for our students' sake. When faced with adversity, oftentimes there are silver linings. It would have been easy for students to be negative and to stay negative. Much harder to unite and rise above. But that's exactly what they did. They made the best out of seemingly the worst. Our life lessons, our silver linings, if you will, have been compassion and perseverance, patience and resilience, the word of the night, flexibility and tolerance. Perhaps most importantly, though, we have learned the power of relationships, that people matter most. And with that, we experienced empathy, right? True empathy, give and take. Knowing that this pandemic hit us all so hard and yet so differently, and being able to respect and understand that. As much as we're all ready to take our masks off, myself included right now, we're all ready to not sit on the X's anymore, to not stand so far apart on the muddy field, and I suppose ready for summer. I'm not ready for you to go. We just didn't get enough time. So, before I start crying, please accept our gift as a symbol of hope and as a reminder to always keep a healthy perspective. I've asked students to prepare, to share some successes and some challenges. I hope you will allow them to do so. They are also prepared to answer questions, although I've given them permission to say, I have no idea.
Hi, I'm Marley. I'm a graduating 8th grader. Miss Jones is my homeroom and core teacher. A success from this year is definitely just getting to connect with my teachers. I didn't expect that. My teachers have worked so hard on trying to make a connection with us this year, and I know it's not been easy. So having Miss Jones and Miss Powers and Mr. Dodd being our in-person science teacher with Miss Owens on the camera and all of our amazing teachers, it's been a really great success for them to see our needs and see what we need to grow and what we need to understand. It's amazing, and it's also my challenge because I was so challenging to leave now. Like, that's my one challenge from this year. I'm not ready to graduate. I don't want to leave BB. My last full year was 6th grade, was my last full year, and now I'm graduating 8th grade. I didn't get enough time here. I had Miss Caldera and Miss Baraki and Miss Pagran and Miss Stravinsky. I'm not ready to leave this. I'm so excited to go to Salinas High, but it's so weird leaving here. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Regan, and I am in Miss Powers' homeroom. I'd say a success of this year is being able to go into person. That's the biggest success of this year, and personally, being able to, like Marley said, connect with my teachers more. It's way easier to talk to my teachers more and less awkward. Another success is getting rid of breakout rooms, which I love. And a challenge is, well, distance learning was definitely a challenge. There's a lot of options to choose from when you're asked what was a challenge of distance learning. But challenge of distance learning was just, it was hard to focus. And so I'm very happy that now I can connect with teachers and it's way easier to focus. I enjoy the history lectures now. They're very fun. And it's just crazy to think that that tomorrow is pretty sure our last Friday at Buena Vista. So I'm excited to graduate, but also kind of sad that we're leaving Buena Vista. And I'm just happy that we got to spend the little time we had in person at school. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bobby Bonilla, and I'm also in Miss Powers' homeroom. And I would like to say that one of my favorite things about coming back into in person was when I first came back, all my friends saw me and they all went up to me they were like, Bobby, hey! And then we all hanged out. And then when I went to the classroom and I saw, I had Miss Mungrave first, and I was very happy to have PE again. It was very fun. And I would just, one of the negatives about in person, I would say, is probably, I would agree with Miss Jones and say it's the masks, because sometimes I could barely hear people and I get shy to say, hey, what did you say? Because I don't want to be rude. And I'm just very grateful to be back. And I would like to be very thankful to all my teachers for helping me. I was struggling with my grades, and especially in the last trimester, this trimester, when I went back to in person, all my teachers were very helpful. And I would like to say thanks to Miss Jones as well, more importantly, because I got a really bad grade on my essay, and she helped me get that thing right back up. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Cherish. I'm also in Mrs. Jones' homeroom. And I feel like a challenge for me personally was probably finding motivation to for online school. It was very hard. And I'd be like, yeah, I don't know how to speak in public, but it's okay. So yeah, motivation. It was really hard for me to find that when we were online learning. So it used to be, well, I'm an 8th grader. I'd forget that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna graduate. It didn't really click in my head, but when it did, I'd actually turn in all my work on time, try to figure out how to do things. But then I'd stop for a little bit. And then in our last trimester, my new invitation was to get a snake for my birthday. My mom said if I did good, I'd get one, which is very nice. And probably a nice good thing about being in person now is to see all my friends, all my nice teachers, everyone that's helped me. And I would like to thank everyone. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jake, and I would say that one of the most hardships during online was staying motivated and to actually pay attention. And it was a lot easier when we went to in-person school to focus and to hear the lectures. They were a lot better in person than online school. And it was easy to pay attention, and it helped.
Any questions for 8th graders, or did they answer them all?
Go ahead, board members, any questions for the 8th graders?
What are you looking forward to most about high school?
I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to new opportunities to learn about new things, of course, and to make new friends. I'm going to a high school where I don't know many people, so I'm very excited to make new friends.
Regan will be attending York, just so you.
Favorite Spreckels school moment? Anybody can step up and answer. Or was that too long ago?
I would say that one of my favorite memories was doing the color runs. And then my favorite class was Miss Torres, and all my teachers, they were really good. And they made school a lot better experience.
Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you, 8th graders. Thank you for your gift. And thank you for your gift, and that's going to go on display in the district office? Okay. Thank you very much. All right, Spreckels Elementary School. You have to follow that. Good luck. Oh, yeah. 8th graders, it is a school night, and you can stay and watch Democracy if you want.
You don't
what?
want to listen to me?
They have Oh, you have testing tomorrow? Oh, no. Have a good night, 8th graders. Get some sleep and a breakfast.
I'll see you at graduation.
Please.
Since we just had a meeting last week, I pretty much, you didn't have to remember, but I pretty much went over everything for the end of the year, so I'm not going to take the time to repeat. But something has struck me since we kind of started with the reports, and I just think it's important to say. Spreckels is a very special place, and we just witnessed why. A couple of these kids have siblings still at Spreckels. One of them has a kindergarten brother, and so there's that connection that always keeps on going. And it's that community that makes us special, that you can't find in every place that you work. And I think, as Eric said, we need to keep focusing on that really special thing that is Spreckels. And remember what these 8th graders are saying to us and how they remember their teachers, and they want to be together, and they want to learn. And they understand. They're wise. They understand so much about how hard things were and how much better it is getting. And we need to do the same thing. So one last thing, I just want to thank all of my staff, because they're rock stars. I'm overusing that word this year, but I truly mean it. They really are rock stars, and I just appreciate everybody and their hard work. So thank you.
Do you have anybody from SUEF tonight? Mrs. Mizuka.
We've had very few fundraisers, they've been successful, and so we made a little under 10,000, so our contribution to the district this year is going to be $10,000.
Wow. And I don't know how well the fundraiser this week did with Possibilities, but that was a really good idea. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I partook. It was cool. It was really nice. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. PTO. Do we have anybody from PTO? No. Bobcat Club? That's it. Okay. Business information. Fund balance report.
All right, so this is the fund balance report through May 28th, the 11th month of the fiscal year, or 92%. We are currently trending in a deficit of $83,000, but the revenue to be received is over $2 million, which is related to those deferrals that we talked about last month. So once those are in with the last months of expenditures, we're expecting to hit our projected budget ending balance of $100,000, which will add to the reserve. If you need specific details, you can always reach out and we can go over it in detail.
Okay, thank you. Board members have any questions for staff on this? Okay, moving on then. Class configuration for next school year.
So this is as of Thursday, May 27th, and we are holding steady. There has been a little movement since the report that we brought you last month at the regular board meeting. We're currently projecting to be at 953. I think this week there was some movement, one gain in Spreckels, one loss in Buena Vista, so it netted to the same. But we'll continue to monitor this up until August 18th when school starts. Two more today?
Yeah,
Two ads, okay, so 955. 955 is actually the number that would hit us, that is where we were on Seabed's Day.
Yep.
So it would be nice to start in excess of that so we don't technically hit that declining enrollment, although the 2021 year isn't, we're in that hold harmless. So more to come on that when the state budget is adopted and we get the final enrollment snapshot when the school year starts. The next step with this will be, as you can see with our classes that we designate, we just call them class 3, class 4, class 5. Teresa will start to assign, the next one of these you'll see, we hope to have actual assignments, teachers' names in the grade levels. Buena Vista's is probably relatively set with the exception of the math teacher. But you had a question?
Are we holding steady then at what we have right now, or are we still actively accepting?
Oh, we're actively accepting, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, our own in-district kids would come, we take them if they live.
Yeah. It depends on the grade.
But
Okay.
in,
Certain grades, yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
yeah, for inter-districts, everyone is under review.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from board members about class size so far for next year?
Numbers picked up since our last meeting,
Yeah.
which was my question then.
So we did add that fourth teacher, and we're at about 22 per class right now, which is a good place to start.
That's kind of the leading indicator, actually, because if our kinder, once we get them in kinder, it pushes throughout the next 8 years. So that is definitely a good sign.
Okay. Anything else, anyone? Nope. Facilities update.
So we are just starting the planning of the summer projects, the summer schedule. There will be some class movement going on. You'll see later in the agenda the bid documents for the Buena Vista project. And then in July, we'll be bringing you some documents for the toilet replacement project at Spreckels. But the next few weeks will really be just closing it down, getting teachers out for the summer, checked out for the summer. Teachers, we have one from Spreckels moving to Buena Vista. Our staff will help with that. But I think that they're all sort of ready for things to wrap up.
Okay.
They being the custodial maintenance staff. And then preparing for ESY, which starts the following Monday. So they have one day. They have June 11th. And then
Any
ESY
questions
will
about
be in.
facilities, anyone? Okay. Measure B audit.
This is informational only. As you know, Measure B, which funded the renovation 2012. This is the annual audit showing that we met all of the compliance thresholds and there were no findings in the report. I'm going to try to get to the last page to show you that. None reported. So all of the proceeds of that fund were spent within the required areas.
Okay. Any questions, staff, from the board members for staff? No? Okay, local indicators.
The local indicators is part of the LCAP cycle, but it comes as an information item. And basically, it's a series of pretty much self-reflections, starting with the basic needs like textbooks, credentialed teachers, facilities. Is that me? Sorry. And then goes into curriculum implementation, reaching out to parents, results from the student school climate. Do you have any questions about any? Normally, these would actually be uploaded directly to the dashboard if that was functional, the California dashboard. So you've seen it in the past, it's not as a separate handout.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions? Okay, seeing none, action. We have the LCAP. Do you want to have a motion on the floor before you talk about it, staff, or do you want to talk about it and then we'll take action?
Take the motion.
You need a motion on it? It's moved? It's seconded. Go ahead.
This is pretty much the same document we saw last Thursday, the public hearing. There's pretty much process. About 95% the same. The other 5% has to do with our ongoing review from the MCOE. And the big difference here really is to the metrics. Unlike past years, we really had more flexibility about including our own way of measuring our goals. We have that, but we also have to, there's some mandatory metrics now. So you saw things like chronic absenteeism rate, middle school dropout rate, which is kind of laughable. But that's the big difference between the documents. Everything else is pretty much the same.
Okay.
It's our guiding document, and I think it's a good one.
Okay. Any questions? Any debate? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And I'm aye as well. The motion carries 5-0-0. We now have the budget. I'll take a motion on that as well.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded.
There are no changes to this document from the one that you saw last week. It will be changed within 45 days of the adoption of the state budget, which is anticipated to occur by June 15th. So the expectation is by the August meeting, we will bring a revision back that ties to the final state revenues in the governor's budget. And there's good movement. I've been reading some of the headers that are coming out today as the conversation's been in committee. And it looks like we've gotten some movement on the deferrals. And also that state unemployment rate, which you may remember went up over 1,000%. It's a small number, but percentage-wise, the increase went from like 0.05 to 1.2. And so stay tuned for that 45-day. I think that will give us a really good indication of what the program will be once the school year starts.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board on that, on the budget?
So we'll see that again at the August meeting or end of July?
It'll be August. If the June 15th is the statutory deadline for the legislature to adopt the budget, get it back to the governor's desk. Otherwise, they don't get paid, which was from years ago, Schwarzenegger's tenure.
Yep.
So it's worked. It's worked to hold those paychecks because they have successfully adopted a budget by June 15th when it used to be sometimes after the school year started,
Yep.
which was really problematic because you're hiring and you don't know even what your budget is going to be funded on. So from that point, if there's a material difference from what we built our budget on to what the state budget adopted, we have to, within 45 days, bring you a revision. Well, because we came so early in May, this budget was built on the January proposal, so we absolutely will bring a revision. We want to tie it we want to align exactly to that, especially the base funding, the local control funding, formula funding, because that pays for 90% of our program. And as much as I would love to say I'd have it to you by the July 2nd or 1st meeting, I'm not, from June 15th to July 2nd, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I just can't. But August 5th or 6th or 4th, when's the August meeting? It's early. All of our meetings are early in the month now, so, which will be nice because we want that actually in place before we finalize. Well, hopefully by then we will have finalized hiring and we'll be processing the first payroll of the month, which having that budget aligned, there's just a lot of things that the timing's going to be perfect if the legislators finish by June 15th.
Yeah, and as you know, legislature's saying no to the governor on deferrals, that last remaining deferral. They want that to go away even though it's not for another year. And they're also demanding something in the form of PERS and STIRS relief for employers as well. So they have until the 15th to shake it out behind closed doors, I guess.
Yes.
So-
Well, some of the committee things look promising.
Yeah.
And again, the revenues, I mean, I hope the actuarials who are doing these projections, there is like the real revenue cash receipts.
Yeah.
Cash is definitely to be counted, but there's this projection part that needs to be thoroughly looked at because a lot of what's happening, I think, in our cash receipts, the property tax, personal property tax going up, corporate taxes, is also connected to the pandemic, because there's been this incredible influx of all of these stimulus dollars.
Yep.
So it could overinflate, if you will.
There's theories out there.
Yes.
We'll
So
see.
we'll continue, I believe, to be conservative, as we have been in my time here. And we won't bring suggestions to you that will in any way put us in some sort of fiscal exposure. Not intentionally.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Any more questions from the board on the budget? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Resolution on the Education Protection Act, if I could have a motion on that, and we'll move it after some discussion.
So moved.
It's been moved.
I'll second.
It's been seconded. I know this is boilerplate, but you might want to explain it.
This is boilerplate. It goes back to a proposition that was passed. It was a tax proposition, but in the passing of the proposition, districts had to confirm that they only spent this revenue on instruction. It could not go to administrator salaries or facilities or any capital improvement. It had to only be in support of the function of instruction. So annually, it was thousands through the 1999s. That represents instruction. And then we bring it back again after we close the books and we show you the actual fiscal transactions that occurred. Very common annual, twice a year you see this.
Yep.
It's a compliance step.
Yes. I doubt there's any questions, but if there are, now's the time for them. Okay, seeing none. Roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Jen?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Stephanie?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Resolution carries 500. SIPSA for Spreckels Elementary. Do you want it on the floor as a motion first?
Yes, so moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded.
Yeah, so the student achievement plans, site plans are pretty much little mini LCAPs by site. They track federal money, so it's not really a state function, but it acts the same way. So basically, it lays out one of our LCAP goals per site, and then expenditures to support that. The goal basically was to deal with learning loss and social emotional support. The principals meet with their school site councils to develop this and then bring it to you. So again, it's like a mini LCAP per site.
Okay. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. The motion carries 500. Now, SIPSA for Buena Vista Middle School. Motion, please.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Roger that. Any questions? Just making sure. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Buena Vista Middle School field improvements. Finally.
So I sent this to you under separate cover this afternoon because we were still working with the attorneys finalizing the language. And so this is, I'm sorry, let me have you take a motion and then we'll discuss it.
Sure, you got it.
I'm
Can I
sorry.
get a motion on this?
Yes, please.
Anybody?
I'll move.
So
Moved.
moved.
I'll second.
And seconded. Go ahead.
Threw you off. So what this is this will begin the process of calling for bids for the field improvement project at Buena Vista. And so basically, we start to set timelines, deadlines, when they'll be published. And so it's 101 pages of legalese to get the project going.
Get some bids.
Get some bids. Hopefully, it's a good bid climate and people want to come and work.
Yeah,
at
as long as there's
Buena
not steel
Vista.
involved.
Yeah,
That's-
so it'll be published in the Californian, the Herald, the Santa Cruz Sentinel. We'll pick dates for opening bids, which will be the end of July. We'll bring the intent and possibly a contract for ratification in August, depending on who is awarded the bid and how much of our contract they'll want to tweak. A lot of times these things go really quick. They'll just, because we share the contract, it's part of the bid documents. So they have a chance to see what we're going to be expecting them to execute with us. There's been other times when it has taken a long time to work through contract or negotiations, but I'm hopeful this is pretty cut and dry.
The goal is to have something for us to take action on next meeting and break ground, hopefully, shortly
Well,
thereafter.
take action on in the August meeting.
August meeting, okay.
Yes, the first meeting of August, because we'll finish this, we'll publish for 2 weeks, we'll give them a month to get their bids
All right.
together. Yeah, it takes a minute,
Hot minute anyway.
but
Okay,
we're closer than we've ever been.
roger that. Any questions on this?
I have a question. And Monica, I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt, but I've never read one of these all the way through, and this paragraph struck me. Now, therefore, we as the contractor principal, meaning the board, and blank as surety are held firmly bound unto the district in the penal sum of, there's a dollar amount and a blank line, and then it says lawful money of the United States of America for the payment of which sum well and truly will be made, we bind ourselves, our heirs, our executors, administrators, successors, and assigned jointly and severally, firmly by these presents. What does that imply for a board member?
So that is the surety document that the contractor submits to us once we present the plans, the specifications, and the projected cost of the project. Then they do their calculations and say, you know, we'd like to get it done for $9 million. They come in and say, we can do it for $8.5 million. And then they have to get those bonds for their work, and they fill those out and return them to us. These are templates. And that could even be something that they negotiate because they don't necessarily like the language.
So there's a payment bond, there's a performance bond, which the contractor has to fill out.
Correct.
And there's a payment bond that we would be filling out. So what numbers goes in that blank, for example? I don't need exact numbers. I just want to know what I'm committing my heirs to.
It would be if the project is a $9 million project, or the bid comes in at 8.5. So then there's, in the general conditions, you'll see percentages of each of these bonds, because there's performance bonds, there's sureties bonds, there's workers' comp insurance, there's all of those legal requirements. So I don't have that number for you at this point, which is why it's in a draft.
No,
template.
I don't need exact numbers. It just,
Yeah.
I've never really read one of these things, and that line about my heirs and individually and jointly just kind of struck me as going, hey, you should ask about that.
No,
But-
it is. I mean, it's to protect both parties.
But the
And
ne-
honestly, if something goes sour, you know, the district's there's gonna be some liability, there's gonna be exposure on both sides. We just try to mitigate that as best we can.
But we'll see all that in August.
Yes. And I
And
can
we'll know.
get Fagan, Fullfrost, and Fulfright, the three Fs are the attorneys that we used. We can earmark any specific language that we would like put in English, and that could be one of them, actually.
I don't know.
after
Those
this.
of us down here at this end of the DS want to talk about board insurance sometimes, Steve. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions on this? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor to move forward on this, please say aye.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well, motion carries 500. Resolution for cafeteria fund transfer, also boilerplate. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Want to speak to it real quick?
Final one of the year. There may be a cleanup entry when we close the books, but this should cover it for the year.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, board members? Seeing none, roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Jen?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Stephanie?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Resolution carries 500. I need a motion to adjourn to public hearing by roll call vote. I need a first and a second, please.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded by roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Jen?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Stephanie?
Aye.
And Michael?
Aye.
We're in public hearing regarding, we're sunshining, right?
Yes,
We're sunshining for CSEA negotiations.
Yes.
And we're in public hearing? See if anybody wants to comment. Go to the podium. I'm going to close public hearing. I need a motion to adjourn from public hearing. I need a first and a second.
So moved.
It's been moved. It's been seconded, right? Roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Jen?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Stephanie?
Aye.
And Michael?
Aye.
Motion carries 500. Consideration and public notice of initial proposals of CSEA's sunshines. Let's get a motion on that, please, by roll call vote.
So moved.
It's been moved
Second.
and seconded. Any questions from the board on this? Seeing none, roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Jen?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Stephanie?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Motion carries 500. Curriculum instruction information, next year's calendar.
So this has been brought to you a couple of times. We're just bringing it back as information only. We had a very keen-eyed parent identify a mistake that we made on departure time in the very last sentence of the document. So this section right here, all other days dismissal, we had the times wrong. So we've just corrected it. We're bringing it back to you
Well,
as
thank you,
information.
parent, whoever
I
that
know.
was.
It's
Nice.
amazing when you think about how many.
This reflects a full opening from 8:30 to 2:30.
Good, yeah.
That kind of makes it clear.
That is what we want, that's for sure.
5 days a week, that's what it said?
Yep.
Well, 5 days a
180
week.
days a year.
Full opening, just in case. I'm gonna say it louder. 5 days a week.
Any-
Full opening, in case you didn't hear it.
Are there any questions on the calendar from board members, though?
Starts when? August 18th?
Yes.
August 18th. August 18th.
Staff before that.
Yeah.
No questions? Okay, moving on. Action, Vista Higher Learning, get ready. We're buying some books or some materials. I need a motion on it first.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Presentation?
Actually, this is the LCAP in real time.
Is it the ELD curriculum?
Yes, one of the goals, goal 2, one of the actions is to have a evidence-based ELD program. So this is for Buena Vista, and Spreckels is still reviewing. But Kate, go ahead and can you explain the process, who's involved, and why you're recommending this? Whatever you want to do.
All right, so we started to kind of go through our ELD curriculum and look around, and it's very simple. At the middle school, we have one ELD teacher. So Mrs. Villarreal and myself started to begin that process. I'm not sure if she's still here, but she was here earlier. She reached out to the high school, going to try and figure out what they were using as well. They use this for their high school as well, so we wanted to curriculate well into the high school and begin curriculum that would help our students out. Students at the middle school have one period of support throughout their day with ELD instruction, and we typically have not had a curriculum on our site. We just used other resources to help those students out throughout the day. So we're really excited to begin an adoption process to actually have curriculum to use within the classroom to help our students out through their learning. So this is some of the materials. If you want to look at it later on, I'll be sure to talk about it.
Thank you. Any questions from board members on this? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Information action, first read, school counselor job description and salary schedule. Final read. Did I say first read? That was last time. Final read. I need a motion, though.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
And seconded. Go ahead.
Now that we have the LCAP that outlines a few positions, as soon as this is approved, it could hit, the posting could hit the streets early next week. So this is the counselor position. It's on the certificated salary schedule, factored in 8 additional days. So it's a bit more, but it's a longer school year, a longer work year.
Yeah. Okay, 190 or?
195.
195, okay. All right, any questions? We had this last week as first read.
Very excited.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's been many a moon since we've had a counselor. Any questions from anyone else? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500, and that will be posted when?
Yeah, when? Okay.
Tonight?
On EdJoin, on EdJoin.
Because,
Intervention teachers,
So
yes.
EdJoin.
Tonight was the green light to get it
I'm
going.
just want it
Yeah.
out there. EdJoin is where school districts post positions.
Yeah.
EdJoin.
and I just want to say that districts are already snatching up talent,
Yep.
and they're going to be looking to snatch up more counselors than exist
Yes.
Yep.
for next year with all this extra money coming in from the state and feds. So let's get
Early next week.
Let's get some applicants in. So let's get this
Got it.
posted. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Administration committee updates.
Now the LCAP again has been adopted. Goal 3 talks about equity and innovation. So we're going to reconvene our equity committee on Monday to kind of get ready to go for the fall, saying this is our new, new marching orders. Let's get it going.
Okay. Any other committee updates?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Final read, May 2020 policy and regulation updates per guide sheet. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second?
Seconded. Any questions or clarifications by board members on these? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Carries 500. First read, March 19, 2019, 2020, and 2021 policy and regulations per guide sheet. I need a motion.
So moved.
Been
Second?
moved and seconded. Any questions, clarifications, or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Ratification of superintendent contract. I need a motion.
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second?
Seconded. Any discussion by the board, clarification?
I'd just like to say that it's unusual that our superintendent sets himself on the same percent salary schedule as the teachers. So what the teachers have negotiated for their salary increases, the superintendent's using that as a basis for his promotion. And this superintendent's happy with that qualification, and I think that's something to be reckoned with. He's in, I feel, solidarity with the teachers. So I think it's noteworthy, and we ought to note it.
Thank you. Anything else from board members? We're happy with your work, sir.
For the trust.
You're welcome. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. We're at consent. Do any board members want to pull anything from consent, or staff for that matter? There's a resignation on here?
Mrs. Torres, yeah,
Oh, okay.
on the second page.
Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. You're going to pull that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and take that now, and then we'll just keep it all together.
Yeah, so this one stings kind of like a retirement. Jamie is, I don't know if Christina planned it, but to have Jake speak to his memories 5 years ago speaks, all we need to know about you. You are the kind of teacher that they remember. I know that you sent 2 wonderful young ladies through our program. I hope we have one that's going to continue with us, right? And so hopefully we'll now get you as an active parent as well. Wish you the best and thank you. Little fun fact, Jamie and I about 18 years ago got our eyes fixed at the exact same time. It's like, hey, we had LASIK, right? How are your eyes right now? Mine too. Thank you again.
With that, I'd love to entertain a motion on consent, please.
True story.
So moved.
It's been moved
I'll second.
and seconded. All those in favor of consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Future agenda items. Anything we'd like to add here? Want a board study session?
For the fall, kind of start the year out strong, make sure we're all, with kind of we have a new board member. We have a new board dynamic at times. So we thought about bringing in an independent person to kind of guide us through. Open to the public, but it would not be a true board meeting.
Right.
So we kind of, depends on when you'd like to do it. Late summer, early fall?
I mean, how do summer calendars look for other board members? Well, are we talking half a day, couple hours? Like a 10 o'clock showtime or 8 o'clock showtime? Okay. What do you think?
As long as it's not October, I'm okay.
Okay, it won't be October. How about this? Is there anybody that's not available on certain Saturdays for the next 9 weeks?
I prefer weekdays.
That's fine. You want to shout one out and we can all look at our calendars?
Yes. How about we go, so our board meeting in August is August 5th, correct? And so would we like to do that in the morning of? So August 5th morning of?
Let me take a look.
I too use a paper calendar.
I have a clean morning.
August 5th? Can you take yours?
What time?
I like a early morning run, so maybe 11. Can we have food at this event?
Sure.
I do enjoy eating. So 11
We can have
a.m.?
a working lunch, yeah. 11 a.m.
We'll bring our own.
Sure, we can brown bag it.
11 a.m.
But other board members way down there. How does August 5th at 11 for a few hours? A couple hours?
I would say let's schedule 3, and if we need less. then
Fine, so
we
book
eat
3
slower,
and then,
yeah.
and we'll go from there. How's that look for everybody?
What's for lunch?
Well,
Everything.
Jen
Jen's-
offered the brown bag it, but I
Jen's
don't
in
know.
charge of that.
Burgers, salad.
Okay, so board study session, August 5th, 11 to 3 at this time.
11 to 3 or 2? 3?
11 to 2, sorry.
11 to 2, right?
11 to 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Here?
That's a good question. To
be
be
determined.
determined.
Excellent.
It's still, because there's a quorum of the board, it has to be,
We have at the park.
well, it has to be in a place the public can observe,
Okay.
have access, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. That was easy.
I love. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to find somewhere
Not yet.
off district or at the district office? or-
We
Okay.
can do to be determined.
TBD, but
TBD.
probably not a school site.
Excellent. Right.
Yeah, I would hope
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Does anyone want to add anything else to the agenda? All right, seeing that, who would like to give the motion to adjourn? Chris is letting somebody else do it.
So moved.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.